Hi everyone. Happy Saturday. I hope that everyone is having an amazing weekend. Here in New York, it is it's been like snowing. Well, we started with like a wintry mix in the morning and then it transitioned to snow in the late morning, so it's been snowing off and on for the whole day. Not sticking though, but it's pretty icy and messy outside. So for me, it was nice to have like a lazy Saturday at home with the family. Um, and I got to do some crafty things, which is always nice in my opinion. I hope that you guys have had an amazing Saturday too. We are on day 12 of 31 days of doodling. Um, I'm I'm always like amazed by how these challenges go. On the one hand, I feel like they go by super quickly, but then on the other hand, I feel like the time spent on the doodles has been great. And in 12 days, I think that I have improved a lot in my drawing and techniques. So, for example, like here's my day one, and she was nice, but here was my day 11, and I feel like she looks amazing. I have not had the time to put my journal entry in there yet, but I look forward to maybe spending some time tomorrow in catching up on my journaling. Hi, Anna. Mr. Panda bought some supplies and my printables. I'm so excited for him. I'm so excited for your husband too. Actually, this morning, Nathaniel was doodling along with everybody, and it was so cute to see like how your children and your husband were really getting involved. So, my husband is not involved yet, but I think I'm wearing him down, and we'll see. Maybe tomorrow he will be um, doodling with us. One can hope, right? My planning brings me peace. Same here, super lazy, relaxing day for me. I'm also in NYC. The day is cold, gloomy, and cold. Cold, gloomy, and cold, right? Yes, like it's another friend of mine was like a couple of days ago we had, I think it was 70 degrees or 72, and everybody was like, oh yes, like it's spring, and I'm like, don't don't be fooled, my friends. Like, don't make any plans, don't put any clothes away, nothing. Like, you have to, it's still winter as far as I'm concerned until what, officially March 21st. So we have at least a good week and a half left when it's still officially winter. Um, but yeah, and then of course a couple of days later, everybody was mad at me when it was cold again, and I said, "Yep, I told you so." We go through this every year, right? Right? But I love all the seasons, and I'm not rushing to for spring. I'm not rushing for summer. I will enjoy the summer, but I'm not in any hurry to get there. Um, it's nice when you go out and you feel the cold and like your senses are invigorated, and then you come back into the house and the house is warm and it's cozy. Like I love those sensations. Sleepless page, keep your coats out. Yes, yes, exactly. So I'm glad we're among friends here. And I love winter, and I'm not mad that it's snowing. I hope that everybody is safe though, and not having to be out in the mess and stuff like that. That's my only thing. So all right, without further ado, let's get to doodling. I just need to grab my pencils. I had put some things away because I was working on like some other crafts today, but I just redid my desk and I have a like a cart with all my tools. Everything's like close at hand, and I hope that this makes me a more efficient crafter. So, okay, so there's my watercolor pencils. I've got my book out. Let me move this up so you can see a little bit better. Okay, let's get started. So today, and I mentioned this yesterday, I had mistakenly misaligned the doodle with the affirmation. So yesterday was Friday the 11th. The affirmation was I choose joy, creativity, and inspiration, and this was the doodle for that. So today is the 12th, Saturday. The affirmation is I love finding out about myself through art, and this was the doodle where it's the, I love this because it's the bonus. We get two doodles here, and she's drawing. There's like a reflection. I think there's a lot of potential for this doodle to like take on many meanings. Like it would be great to see like a division here. Maybe like that's the id and that's the ego, or the ego and the super ego. Maybe there's the dark side and there's the light side. I don't have a clear idea of what I'm going to do with my 2-page spread and this. So as always, we'll see where I go once I start doing the 2-page spread. Since it is a gray day, let's play with some winter colors here. Oh, Priscilla, you drove in that mess to visit crafting friends in DC. Oh, awesome. Are you staying over in DC? Is it messy in DC? And I know you still have like that really big truck with the 4-wheel drive, so that might have even been like a fun ride for you. Let me know. And Anna, you want to see the crafting desk, or the new craft setup? So I'm starting with drawing the outline. And I think I'm gonna play with like the dichotomy here, with the two sides of the one person. Maybe like a yin and yang situation is happening. So the drive was okay. It rained most of the way, but it cleared up once I got here. Oh, great. So you're staying the night in DC. That I love DC. I could go there like several times a year with all the museums and things. It feels like a smaller version of New York, and I know that New York can be like overwhelming sometimes. And DC is so walkable. It's great. I love it. So what I've done is I've done the outline with the darker blue. I'm gonna do a little bit of lighter blue inside. And I think for this figure, I'm just gonna do the 2 colors today. Usually I do 3, like a light, medium, and dark. But I like the idea of this being a shadowy image, so I'm just gonna do the 2 colors. The light blue and the dark blue. And then for this one, I'm going to do a gray. Maybe a black. And the black, just so that I can kind of get a little bit more gradation in the gray, not to have the figure be too dark. Here's the dimple in the elbow. Here's that paintbrush. And then I'm going to shade it in with the gray. And I'm hoping when I add my water that the black will fade into like a very dark charcoal gray. So we have this cushion. Let's have the cushions be really fun. Maybe let's do a pink and a green. So we have like that promise of spring here. So I'm kind of like taking this very literal with our discussion over the weather just a few minutes ago. All right, so we'll just get these away, and then let's add our water and watch how these blend. So I'm going to take, and let's do the large brush. Let's just fully let go of all control. I've got it pretty wet, and I'm gonna start pushing this water in. Oh, I love how that blue really pops. Let's maybe see if we can bleed this blue around. Maybe add a shadow here, which is not something that I have done that much with my doodles in this challenge, but Anna had done a lot. There's a lot of water coming out, like the not quite an aura, but like an energy that's coming out of her doodles, which I really enjoyed seeing her do. Oh, planning brings me peace. Thank you. Thank you. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I'm always surprised by where these doodles go. So even that the gray is, I'm really loving the gray. I think I'm going to do this again. So when I do my 2-page spread, I think I'm going to do, let's do some grays, let's do some blues, let's do that kind of ode to winter. And there's a little bit of pink coming through, I think because yesterday, with the previous day, there was a lot of pink. So that's an interesting look. Okay, so I'm going to take my smaller brush, and I'm going to keep just blend the color out in this cushion. So that looks great. I love this. This is such a simple line design, but once you add color, it really pops. I'm not even going to add like a lot of embellishments or outfits or anything like that. I'm going to keep it like that, and then let's work on our affirmation. Let's do our journaling prompt, and then let's get on to the 2-page spread, because I'm excited about kind of playing with that contrast between the light and the dark. LOL, tell me about it. Yeah, and it's been delightful. Like, I feel like I'm, I sit down and it's like, all right, let's see what happens. I don't know what's going to happen, and so it's been a really fun journey so far. All right, so I love finding out about myself through art. So yeah, and the doodle is completely appropriate. So she is maybe finding out that she's more creative, and I'm finding out what my art is going to be every time I sit down at this desk to do things. So yeah, let's write out the affirmation again, internalize it some more, or maybe reaffirm that to ourselves. I love finding out about myself through art. I'm going to do an exclamation point. And I think I even want to highlight love here. This is twice. I love finding out about myself through art. And then our journaling prompt is, what have you recently discovered about yourself? A loaded question, as always. I have recently discovered that I can draw figures and maybe that I can excel at watercolors. I think I've admitted this before, but I'll say it again. I was not friends with watercolors before doing this challenge. And this isn't a watercolor challenge by any means, but Anna's playground is completely watercolors. And mine would be maybe gelatos. I really like working with markers and acrylic paints and gouache paints and tools where I have a lot of control. And I didn't like watercolors because I did not have control with that. But I've really learned to let go of that control with the watercolors, and surprisingly have found that I really enjoy working with watercolors now too. So that would be the second thing, and that I enjoy. Maybe the loss of control that comes with working with watercolors. Maybe another thing that I found out is I'm not as introverted as I thought I was. I started doing these lives maybe last month with the 28 Days of Wellness challenge, and I found that I've enjoyed doing the lives, and even with this process, I'm enjoying doing them, and I talk a lot. I don't know if I suppose there's people that are extroverted, and I don't know if I would consider myself an extrovert, but I do enjoy like the whole talking process of showing the examples and verbalizing what my process is with creating the spreads. So I'll put that as my second thought. All right, so now let's do the 2-page spread without further ado. Um, as I really enjoy doing the backgrounds with gelatos, I think I'm going to do that again, just to have like a very steady color across the page. And then I really want to take this, I do like the light and the dark playing across with each other. And I want to just expand that idea a little bit more, maybe with a little bit more color, a little bit more contrast between the two figures. And Anna, you're saying social introvert. I've never heard of that, but I'm going to have to look it up. I will definitely have to look it up. So this color is called elderberry. It's like a pastel blue, or kind of like a very cool toned lavender. And just using this, I just want to get a wash of color across the page. It's just going to be, we're going to bring it back to basics. So very monochromatic type of look, with all of the color being in these two figures, and just playing off of the contrasts between those. So I just want to have this as a base. Bear with me. I think I misplaced my the wipe that I use to blend out the gelatos. Okay, I'm so sorry about that, but I can't find the wipes. But what I have is, I have a dauber. So this is a tool that you can use to blend out like pigments or inks. So I'm going to use this to blend out my gelato. What I'm going to do is I put this is a foam pad, and it has, this has Velcro, and you can stick the foam pad onto it. And I'm going to wet it in my jar of water, and use a napkin to wipe off the excess. I just want it to be damp, and then I'm going to use that to swirl the color. So this is swirling like and blending very nicely. So again, the look that I'm going for is just a very light wash of color on the page. Move this out of the way so I don't get any like gelato on it. I'm just going to add a little bit more water to that dauber. And with the dauber, you could get like a lot of water on it or a little bit, and depending on how much water you have determines how much that gelato will activate and blend. go. I'm just going to go over here because it does look a little bit streaky. Alright, so that's that. Now, I've got my example image. I'm going to grab a pencil and let's sketch this out. I'm going to do it on this side because the larger figure, the main figure, is facing towards the right, like where my journaling is going to go. And that's usually how I face my images. And it says, I'm an introvert, but some days I get so chatty, but I think being behind a screen gives me the best balance because I get such hangovers from social interaction, but I do push myself to try. Yeah, I don't know. I do, sometimes I get invigorated from an interaction with people, and then sometimes the interaction is tiring. It may depend on the person that you're interacting with. Okay, so I've got there's the person's head. I've got the back. They're sitting. Their legs are up. Their feet are coming down. And there's the foot. So her arm is kind of resting on her knee, and her elbow is curved right here. And so we're going to give her the stool. It almost could be a cushion. Like those boho pillows. Okay, so her leg is coming down, and then her stomach. And her other arm is raised with her hand and that paintbrush. The paintbrush is kind of going this way. So there's the other paintbrush. I'm wondering if I drew her too big. That I won't have space to draw the other image over here before it bumps into the spine. Oh, we're ambiverts, Anna. We can be very social, but we need major social detox after. Yes, sleepless. Yes, sometimes I feel like that. Or sometimes like I don't know, it might depend on the crowd. If it's a very big crowd, like I start to feel a little bit like jittery or panicky. But then, I don't know, like I could be with a group of friends, maybe like the right group of friends, and like I said, you could feel invigorated by that group of friends. And then sometimes, like, I would go out and maybe talk to a stranger about something, like small talk, and then be like, wow, like that was a really great conversation with that stranger, and feel invigorated by that. So maybe it's like a situational introvertedness. Maybe that could be the thing. All right, so back to the drawing. I'm going to move this down. So the question is, should I draw that mirror image here? Do I have enough space? I don't think so. Maybe I could draw the other image here so that they are, they're facing each other, and then my journaling could be about what I've discovered. And we could do one image is light and then the other image is dark. I think we'll do that. And then obviously I'll have to maybe just stop talking so much and think more about my spatial planning before I get into heavy topics about introversion and stuff. Is anybody doodling right now? If so, how do you feel about your images? I'd love to know. So here we've got the leg. I'm just going to erase the second line a little bit. We've got that great boho cushion. There she's sitting. We've got that arm on the elbow with the curve. And here's the other arm going up. With the paintbrush. All right, so I'm going to leave it there, pretty simple. I want to add watercolor, and then maybe we'll use ink to add further detail and stuff. So I really enjoyed the same colors that I used. So that was the grays and the blues. We'll keep this very monochromatic, but still have that contrast between the light with the image on the left and the dark being the image on the right. Alright, so just have this kind of, so I have it referenced. And now we have our markers. The paper is still a little bit damp from that, from the dauber with the gelato. Not tonight, just hanging out and planning tomorrow's video. Preview during my live. Yes, I can't wait to see tomorrow's video. Every time we do the sneak peek, it's like I love today's, and tomorrow's looks so exciting. So tomorrow's doodle will be, let me just talk about what I did. So I dipped the tip of this watercolor pencil into my water so that I could get a very dark color with the pencil onto the page, so you can see how, like, when I color on the page, like, I'm already getting a very dark transfer, and some of that color is even traveling, which is a great feature of using the wet watercolor pencil. And my next thing is I want to really fill this in with gray, but just have that black there and have it be wet so that it blends really well. just want to round her chest out a little bit more. Okay. Okay, so we've got the black. I'm going to come in with the gray. Actually, I think I'm going to blend this out before I add the gray and maybe get some water onto the paper. Also, having that the gelato as the base gives like a waxy finish to the paper, and this paper, when it's dry, it tends to suck up some of the watercolor, or suck up some of the water. And with the gelato as that base layer, I'm getting a very different feel with the watercolor. It's traveling a little bit more, so that's a nice effect. So seeing the way that this black worked, I may not even need the gray because it's coming up, you know, the black is getting a little bit, what's the word? Diluted. It already looks like a very charcoaly gray. I'm going to wet my brush again. I'm going to maybe blend this outward. Would I ruin it if I blend this outward? I'm just going to play with the shape a little bit more. The color is so dark. That's really the look I was looking for. This gray, when it's wet, is very light. So I'm going to go in with the paintbrush, have that black as well. Okay, so the other image, let's do it as blue on the right. I have this blue. It's like a very, I think, cerulean blue. So again, I wet the tip of the pencil just because I really want to have a strong base color for that outline. Okay, so now that she's colored in, let's blend in this color and see how dark it's getting. I'm very surprised by how dark that black one ended up being. And the blue is not coming out dark at all. It's giving me a nice wash of color, so I may may even darken the initial outline of the figure. That color is moving around a lot. So let's see, I've got, this is a navy. I don't want to go that dark. I'll go with the royal blue. I'm going to wet the tip of the royal blue, and I'm just going to lightly outline her. And I'm going to blend her out with, blend out that stroke with a smaller brush. Okay, so now we're getting that more ombre effect. Okay, so I like how this looks. I think let's do something I haven't done yet. Oh, let's do those cushions. So the cushions, I think I was playing with a pink and a green, kind of that nod to spring. And then maybe let's do some splatter. I have not played with splatter. I've been watching Anna do hers, so I think that maybe I can do that to get some fun paint splashes there. So there's the pink, and then we've got some green. So I've got my wide brush again. I'm going to blend that out. Let's blend my green. Hi Tina, hi Kim. Okay, I have a little too much water here, so blot that with my napkin. Now I've removed some color, so let me go over that with a little bit more pencil. And let me dry off my brush and see if I can blend out that color a little bit more without adding too much water. I think that's going to have to do. And then some splatter. I've got maybe like a fuchsia. Maybe a fuchsia would work. So I wet my brush and I'm going to take my paintbrush and just kind of get some color onto the paintbrush. Do this over a napkin. So then I'm going to kind of flick it over the page. I'm not getting that much color. Let me do this again. So I've loaded up that brush with a lot of the pigment from the pencil, and I'm going to flick it onto the page. So maybe I should be doing a larger brush. Okay, so there's some splatter. I'm not that happy with it. I'm going to try it one more time. So I'm loading up the brush with ink from the pencil. So you can see that the brush is getting saturated with that. Okay, I'm going to mute my camera and like tap it. Okay, so there we go. That last one worked really well. And I'm going to have to let this dry. While it's drying, maybe we can do a fun border with this really quickly with some acrylic markers. So I've got some markers. Let's do a gray to kind of keep that monochrome. And so there's a gray, and then let's do a blue. All right, so my thought is that since this is a reflection of herself, or maybe the two sides of her personality, the border can play with that by being two intertwining lines. So I'm going to do the gray first. I'm just kind of doing like a loose squiggle. And then the second line can be that blue. It's going the opposite way. All right, I like how that came out. Do I have a quote that would go with this theme that I can use? So I got these stickers, and I like these because they're printed on that clear paper. Maybe this one is a great one. Believe in yourself. I'm going to reserve that. I also want to take a look at the envelope that has a lot of the quotes that I've been using for this doodle challenge. So I don't know if I have a quote that's better than that believe in yourself one. Yeah, so I'm going to use that one. The believe in yourself. The make today beautiful, I'm eyeing that. Maybe I'll use that one for tomorrow. This get creative one is really great. Yeah, so we'll do the believe in yourself. I'm going to put that in the upper right corner. Oh, this is beautiful because you have that gold foiling. All right, so there's the 2-page spread. This doodle, I think was the simplest. I'll have to add ink, but the page is still very wet, and I'll have to wait for it to dry a little bit before I do. But this so far, like the shape, I went really basic with this because I really wanted the contrast to be the emphasis on the contrast as opposed to like the figure itself. And I really think that I did succeed with that goal here. I hope that you guys are enjoying this session as much as we are. Thank you for spending some time with me this evening. We'll be back here tomorrow with day 13. Day 13 this is a fun doodle to do. You can still join us. The free printable planner is there on the NYC Planner Addicts Facebook website, so you can download it, print it, trace along with the doodles as we have been. You can try to freeform the doodle yourself. And you know, as Anna says, don't tell us that you can't doodle, or don't tell us that you can't art. As you can see, these are very basic shapes. I was not doodling before, and now I'm enjoying it. So let that be a testament to you as to what's possible with just a little bit of practice every day. Enjoy the rest of your night, guys. Don't forget to turn your clocks back. Be gentle with yourself tomorrow. Get that extra sleep. I know Mondays after the time changes are tough, so do that. Have a wonderful night, everybody, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.